Hey, it's Patrick Lorienti with Colorado Home Realty, and in this video, we're going to answer the question, is now the right time to upgrade my home? Or if it's better to wait. Hey, before we get into it, I want to encourage you, if you find value in this, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. We're going to have a video coming to you every Tuesday. Stay to the end because that's where we're going to get in what I think is the most important consideration in determining whether it makes sense for you to upgrade your home now or if you should wait. First, we're going to dive into some current market information that will help you gauge whether from a market perspective, it's the right time to upgrade your house. I'm going to try to keep this short. I don't want to get into too much data here, but I want to give you enough understanding of how the market works so that when it's time to talk to your realtor or lender, you have a foundational understanding that will help make sense of what the realtor and lender are saying. And it's going to give you an upper hand in this decision-making process to know when is the right time from the market perspective to upgrade our house. Because let's face it, you own your house now, you're living in it, and you're likely either going to need to sell it or rent it. And timing in the market may play into answering the question, is now the right time? Now, I've got good news. I don't think you should be worried about the market. And there's a couple reasons why that I think are important for you to understand, because I don't want to be the guy that just says, hey, you shouldn't be worried. Everything's great. You should come buy and sell a home. I want to actually help you understand why you shouldn't be worried about the market. In fact, why you should actually be optimistic about the market. It's important to understand that for a market to crash, one of two things need to happen. Either the buyer affordability to purchase a home is so bad that the number of buyers looking at homes has a significant decrease. Well, the good news is we had what was coined one of the least affordable markets in 2023, with rates peaking at 8%. And even still, at least here in Colorado, homes appreciated. I'm fairly optimistic in that because we overcame that unaffordable market and rates are projected to improve, helping the affordability of the buyer, that portion of the market is covered. There's reason to have optimism. Now, the second thing to happen in order for market to crash is we would need a shock in supply. Going back to 23, what we found is sellers are not selling. They're comfortable in their rate. I want to say the stat, and don't quote me on this, is roughly 70% of homeowners have a rate below 4 to 5%. So they're really comfortable in their interest rate. Likely you yourself are in this boat. And because of it, sellers are not selling. And so in order to have a shock of supply, we need them to sell. Because of the appreciation that has occurred in the past 10 years, those same sellers have so much equity in their homes that it's fairly unlikely that we have a foreclosure boom like we did in 2008. And to top that off, there was a recent article in the Denver Post that stated we're 100,000 houses short to meet the needs of our population. Meaning we have all these heartbeats, we have all these people, and we're 100,000 houses short of being able to provide them shelter. Because of all these factors, there's reason to be optimistic that we're not going to see a shock of supply. And so when I say don't be worried, that's why. And because we have those two things going for us, there's a lot of optimism going into 2024 and 25, especially with rates projected to improve, that the market is really healthy. And in fact, you could argue that it's strong. Now, one important thing that I want you to consider leads me into my second topic today that I think is really helpful for you to understand, especially when considering upgrading your home. And that's interest rates. And you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but interest rates don't actually matter. What matters more than interest rates is your monthly payment. Now, I know interest rates influence your monthly payment. And so for that, they do matter. But more importantly than anything, we want to look at your monthly payment, because ultimately, that is what you're paying for when you purchase a house. If your interest rate was 100%, but you were still comfortable with your monthly payment and the house it's going to afford you, and that aligned with the lifestyle choices you're making, does the interest rate really matter? Now, something to consider about rates is that for every 1% in rate, and this is going to play such a big role, and you deciding whether or not you should go buy a home right now and sell yours or rent yours is every 1% increase or decrease in interest rate, that affects your purchase power by around $40,000 to $50,000. So if rates go down by 1%, that means the affordability just got better and you can afford roughly about $50,000 more in purchase price. But if rates go up by 1%, your ability to afford that same house goes down by $50,000. And that's how interest rates are going to impact your purchase power through your monthly payment. So when determining is now the right time to upgrade your home, we really need to look at rates and determine what that's going to do to your purchase power and really look into whether or not that home that you're approved for to purchase at the monthly payment that would be doable for you is going to fit with your overall plan. If it doesn't, there's two things you can do. One is we can potentially buy down the rate, and that would allow you to purchase more of a house because of that purchase power adjustment. Or maybe we just decide to wait, because if you can't purchase the type of home you want to upgrade into at a price that's going to fit within your monthly budget, then maybe it is time to wait. And that's something that is so intimate and needs to be considered in determining whether or not now is the right time for you to upgrade your home. Now, for my favorite part of this video, we're going to get into what makes sense from a personal standpoint to consider when making this decision of whether we sell the house or rent it and upgrade, or if we just stay put. But before we jump in, if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video with those you care about. Let's talk about the personal aspect of this decision. And guys, I'm going through it right now. The wife and I, we have been kind of passively, sometimes more actively looking at buying a new primary residence. So I'm right there next to you at the table, going through this myself. But for today's video, I want to simplify this for you, because the reality is every situation is different. And I could have 5 of you in my office all wanting to upgrade your homes, but each person's situation would be different and lead to different types of conversations. But to simplify this for you, to give you a framework that will help you at home better understand your situation and whether or not it makes sense to upgrade now, the first step of this framework is simply to do an analysis on your spending plan. What do I mean by spending plan? In making this decision to buy a house, you really have to look at how much are we spending a month on not only the mortgage, the bills, the gas, the groceries, but also our lifestyle. What does it cost to live the way we're living and do the things that we love doing? And then once you have that number in hand, then you can really start to narrow in on how much do you actually have to put towards the new house as far as a monthly payment. It may be that you look at the spending plan and decide we don't want to increase our monthly payment. We don't have the funds to do that right now. And if that's the case, it's all good. Now the next step is saying, okay, well, let's put the dream house on the map and figure out where income needs to go, or where we can limit some of the expenses to get there. Or you may look at your spending plan and say, well, we would be able to afford this much more on the monthly payment for a house. That's going to give you the baseline to figure out how much of a monthly payment you need to stick around when you upgrade into the new home. Now, step 2, we got to get you with a lender. The lender is going to do a pre-approval, and guys, it's okay to do a pre-approval if you're not going to be ready the next day. The way I operate, the way my team operates at least, is we're your partner in this. And partnering in this may mean you go through the pre-approval process and figure out, hey, we got to kick this can down the road 5 years. It's just not going to work right now. We're here for that. We're not just here to sell you a house. We're here to have these conversations right now. You really won't know if it's the right time for you to upgrade a house, one, without knowing what you would be pre-approved for and what that equates to in a monthly payment. For instance, if you're thinking of upgrading your home and you need to be at a $900,000 price point, we need to first see if you are pre-approved for that much, and then second, see if at $900,000, what is that monthly payment and does it fit your spending plan? So that's step 2. We're going to get a real clear analysis on where you're financially at currently, and then we're going to push that against your spending plan and figure out what budget you have going into purchasing your next home. And this is where it gets fun, because now that we know our numbers, how much of a house you can get pre-approved for, how much of a monthly payment makes sense for you, then we can start looking at the market and we can start to determine what houses are out there and do they have the things you're looking for? Do they have the extra space? Do they have that dream kitchen? Do they have that backyard? Is it in the neighborhood you've always dreamed of living in? When we are able to look at the market from the perspective of knowing here's what we're pre-approved for and here's the monthly payment we need to be around, then we can determine the answer to the question you've all been waiting for. Get out a piece of paper, get out a pen. This is the golden question. Can you find the perfect house for a monthly payment that makes sense? If you can find the perfect house and a monthly payment that makes sense, they can finally answer the question, is now the right time to upgrade? Now there's some more nuances to it. We got to talk about selling your home and renting a home, and we'll do that in the coming videos that we're going to post every Tuesday. But really it all boils down to that question. Can I find the right house for the right monthly payment? And if you're worried about the market, you can add this last piece in. And am I going to stay there for a long time? Because if you're going to stay there for a long time, you're likely to weather any storm in the market. If values drop and your house is $100,000 less than you purchased it for, and you stay there for a long time, you're going to be okay. Your house is going to appreciate. The market's going to do its thing. That's all good. To summarize up everything, this whole video, to really help you understand if now's the right time to upgrade your home, ask yourself the simple question: can I find the right home for the right monthly payment, and am I going to stay there for a long time? If you answer yes to all those questions, then maybe it's time to go out and realize your dream and get that dream home and get that kitchen and get that space in that neighborhood. I'm so excited for you guys to be on this journey, and I want to encourage you that if you didn't answer yes to all those questions, it's all good, because that at least finally gives us a baseline to say, okay, now what do we need in order to answer yes to all those questions? Maybe you need more income. Maybe you need to save up more money. Maybe you just need to stay in your house a little longer. Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 5 years. But without doing the work and going through this simple framework and answering these questions for yourself, you're always going to be stuck wondering, is now a good time to upgrade the home? Should we actually move forward with the process? And I hope that with what I gave you today, not only do you have a good general sense and understanding of how the market works, how interest rates influence your payment, but most importantly, you have a framework to use in order to determine whether or not for you it makes sense to upgrade your home and move into the dream home. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you found this information valuable. I'll say it one last time. If you guys can do me a favor, give me a like on the video, give me a share on the video, or subscribe. We have a video coming out every Tuesday. I am so excited to be rolling out new content, new information to really help you decide whether or not you should upgrade your home now. And we're going to get into topics like, should I rent my home or sell it? What makes more sense? And how do I do that analysis? How do I figure all of that out? As I'm here for you as a resource, you can see at the top of my YouTube banner or below this video, my phone number. I'm a licensed agent here in Colorado, ready to have these conversations with you. And with all the context you have into your situation, I can help walk you through this decision-making process and help you with the different pieces to the puzzle of a lending resource, of looking at the market and really diving into your scenario to help you make the best real estate decision for you and your family. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.